Today we're going to be discussing about Edo State politics, as usual. I'm on the studio with Mr. Daniel Obakozuwa, all the way from Benin City. Today's topic is a little bit controversial about Pastor Iyamu, okay, the APC candidate for Edo State. So this news report came in today that the Vice-Chancellor of Uniben, Professor Grace Alele Williams, spoke about Iyamu's questionable character because she was the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Benin when Iyamu was a student in the 80s. So I'm going to read an article based on this news. Hello, Mr. Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you. This article coming at this time is just to further buttress their point that he is not capable for the rulership or the governorship of Edo State. That is all about it. It depends on him. How can he come out? I just hope that his media campaign team, just like when they came out and trying to dispute the acid pouring, when he said he was there, he was there, but he was not involved in it. But he was counted as one of them and was expelled. So these are challenges. These are challenges for the media campaign team to do. It will always come. An old man said, if you want to see how dirty you are, join politics, and it is it. The more facts and more digging will eventually come about your person, your character, and your reputation.
Yeah. So I want to read just few paragraphs. Okay, I'll go ahead now. Highly regarded educationist and former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Benin, Professor Grace Alele Williams, recently responded to a reported question regarding Iyamu's times at the institution, the University of Benin. Okay. While narrating an encounter between her security men and Iyamu, which she witnessed long ago, she said, "Yes, I still remember the young man. He always seemed to be a troubled personality. How can I forget him, particularly the night when he breached and scaled the security fence of my residence." So he scaled the security fence of the Vice-Chancellor's residence. Okay. It was about 10 p.m. as my family and I were getting settled for the night. I heard coincidentally walked out to my balcony when I noticed long shades across the security lights at a remote corner of my residence. Then I stepped back into the house to call the security. Then I heard a scramble as some unused construction planks that were piled up near the area from where the student was trying to climb out to flee. Maybe because he heard the sound of the door when I backed it. Okay, so Iyamu was trying to climb the fence. What is that? I was later told that a senior lecturer living not far away from me had called the campus security on the citing a creepy movement outside my fence. So it was Iyamu they are talking about right now. According to the former Vice-Chancellor, who spoke to a very reliable source, they had surrounded my house. The two security officers who used their own locks to enter into the premises literally pulled down the student from the wall. Some dangerous weapons fell off his pockets during the struggle. I don't want to go into details here because of the emotions and disgust that I went through watching a young man who is supposed to be my student engaging in such a sinister conduct. Okay, so they are talking about Iyamu right now, climbing a fence with some dangerous weapons. Of course, I recognize him. Immediately, he was wrestled to the ground. I recognize him. I know him well as a student who has been involved in various violent incidents in the campus. Okay, involved in various violent incidents in the campus. Okay, the committee that investigated Iyamu's attempt attack with a dangerous weapon on me made a ruling that Iyamu was no longer fit to be in the university community. Okay, I think the committee made up of okay, distinguished senior professors and students and representatives did a comprehensive chronicle of the abominable life of Iyamu on the campus and categorically, okay, concluded that he was a danger to Uniben community. Hence, he was rusticated. You see, he was rusticated because of the deviant behavior that he was exhibiting when he was in the university. Mr. Daniel.
Yes. I am not speaking for Iyamu. We are here to make analysis of their chances of winning the election.
But this all
These,
these records, these stories, all these type of scandals, stories, negative
yes,
comments, stories about him,
yes,
will definitely affect
yes,
his election.
fine. That is it. It affects his election, the election completely of the personality. When you start, you can see how timely it is coming at this political era, when campaign is going on to tell us about the kind of person he is. So it is left for his media campaign team to do justice to defend him on this. If they are not able to defend him, it shows that whatever is being said here is actually the kind of person he is. So that is politics for you. But one fact I must put here, or let us put in our mind, that Professor Alele Williams was Vice-Chancellor under a military regime. I am here to say that it is very unfortunate that many innocent students were expelled from Uniben who knows nothing during the time of Alele Williams. That fact is very clear. So a lot of Boyan students afraid of the woman because she was called Iron Lady left Uniben for other institutions who are not so strong. Or maybe you go with a friend who you do not know his character. One of these days, they drag you along with it. But I am not defending Iyamu. We are here to analyze his chances. And this is one of the chances that that will rob him of the governorship. So if Iyamu was caught, because during Professor Alele Wuren's area, there was a lot of riot within this university. Students are talking of accommodation, hostel, and others. The facts are there. But however, if he was caught trying to maybe harm the vice chancellor or do
Lord,
other things, yeah, you understand? Uh-huh. He has a questionable character, fine. I remember that Zayamu did said that he was one of the student government leaders. Whether how far that is truth is left for them. Rustication is completely leaving the university. He was not rusticated. He was expelled for 2 years and came back to the university. When you say rustication, you are gone and gone for good. The panel expelled him from the system for 2 years. After serving that 2 years, he came back where he got his law degree.
degree. That's
So
what he said.
let
Said that.
yes, good fact clear. So by and large, this is one of the instruments people will bring out that will rob him his chances of the governorship. It shows that his character is very dirty. He's not worthy for election. It now depends on him and his campaign team to tell us what actually happened. That's all.
I think the negative comments about Iyamu is just all over the whole place, and it's too much. It's too much, and given that Adanso Shomole himself, okay, criticized him seriously in the past election, and those videos are all flying around social media, coupled with this problem, this fresh problem that the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Benin also brought to the table right now. Everything is like it's adding up for him. How can
Yes,
APC
you know we said alone. You know we said it earlier in this TV
mm,
that Adanso Somele's video clips is enough
mm,
to ruin the chances of Iyamu. It depends on how he's going to polish it. Because when
mm,
like talk of Professor Sagi being the chairman of the panel team, he's still very much alive and can say yes, they expect him for 2 years. You know, these are chances that will rob him. He- just as I said, it is now left for him and his campaign team to clear the air, or else people will see him as a bad man. He has no good intention for Edo people, coupled with the fact that he has not just copied somebody's 2016 agenda. You
yeah,
know, this is a lot of stress on him and he has to live up to expectation.
it's too
This
much.
will also his popularity, of votes.
It's too
Except
much.
he's planning to ring the election. And even ringing the election as we see it now, it's not even in his favor because the crisis in the party will always affect it. If we have crisis in the national party,
Mm,
those like the comment from Erufai, the comment from Borno State Governor, and all those things, they will not support the federal might on him. Now, last week we said about Obasaki saying that the relationship between him and Buhari is like a father and son. That is the commander in chief. So
mm.
that is why I said, though with this crisis in APC, we are going to see what we call a free, fair, and credible. So if Yamu is trying to rely on ringing, it will not work this time because of the tenants or of what is happening within his party. As I speak, I'm here to be corrected about it. APC have not flagged up campaign for Iyamu, just as PDP are doing their campaign for Obaseki. I can authoritatively tell you that APC has not flagged up campaign for Iyamu. The other time, the publicity secretary said they have not even seen him. That is the authentic declared leadership. So he's still within the EPM and his friends doing the campaigning, not the party.
Not the
These
party.
are, yeah, not the party.
Mm,
These are slim chances for him. The
mm.
party who is supposed to you are allegedly carrying their banner as a bearer are not even ready for you. They are not even in the campaign. What you see the campaign done is friends and EPM within not the party in general, like PDP Obaseki. Obaseki most of the time are not with them when they hold their meeting. The other day, their senatorial leaders in PDP met. Even the senator from Urogide was there. Leaders who decamp from APC was there, and they had their meeting strategizing. That is not. We are not saying that in the case of Iyamu. These are part of the defense for him. So if he's relying on ringing to win this election, it has already failed because the tension and the faction within the party will not even allow the president to use federal mind as what was seen in Ekiti, in Edo State.
Wow, Mr. Daniel, well explained. I hope the audience are watching right now. Clearly explained. Yes, that APC members due to this lack of internal democracy that is rocking the party, majority of the APC members in Edo State are not supporting Iyamu, are not supporting him. Like the chairman, the APC chairman in Edo State, for instance, only the EPM members that are supporting Iyamu right now, right? Those who are
Yeah.
supporting the EPM members are supporting Iyamu, while the rest of them are still supporting Governor Obaseki, even though he decamped to PDP, they are still supporting. That is why the other day we said APC at daytime, PDP at night. That these people, they are working at the daytime as a APC members, whereas at night time automatically they become PDP members. So some of them, they are still in APC today because they are holding important positions, right? They are still holding important positions under the APC. That is why they are still there in APC. Otherwise, they would have long decamped to PDP with Governor Obaseki. While those who have the autonomy to decamp, they have already decamped, like the Speaker of House, okay? The Speaker of House, Okiye, Frank Okiye. Frank Okiye has already decamped to PDP. Okay, well, the chairman of APC in Edo State, Mr. Aslem Ojeshua,
Ojesu.
is not
Oje-
Ojeshua. So he will not decamp. He will not decamp, but you cannot expect him to be opposing Governor Obaseki during election period. That will not happen because they are very close. Okay, they are very close. But he's still in the APC, he's still the chairman, the recognized chairman of APC in Edo State. But he's supporting Governor Obaseki. I don't think Aslem Joshua will do anything that will hinder Governor Obaseki's re-election. Chief Odigel Yegu was added to the campaign team of APC, of which the Oyegu himself and the entire family of Oyegu are supporting Governor Obaseki. You see the irony of it.
And unfortunately, Oyegu was part of the team, were
That's what
made
I'm
a part of the campaign team for Obas.
saying.
Zeyam. Yes, we have said it all. These
Mm,
are chances that will ruin him. Coupled with
yes.
the party not even, they have not even started their campaign. How can the national team committee come to Edo State, who is inviting them to come to campaign for Iyamu when the house here is not settled? And this is one of the factors working against the candidacy now of APC. The chairman initially wrote to INEC that they have not conducted their primaries, that they will communicate to them when they are ready. The former national caretaker national party also communicated the same thing, and all of a sudden a committee was set up. How his name, without even informing the chairman Ojezwa here, we saw his name in APC flag bearer in Nigeria for Edo State election. The party here have not organized themselves. They have not set up their own campaign team. The national is setting up their campaign team. I just told you that Edo senatorial leaders met recently. Ego party for PDP met recently with their coordinators, strategizing. Obaseki was not there.
Yes, that's
You
what
can
you said.
see the defect.
Okay,
And yeah.
I have one. I don't want to cut you off, but I have one question about the case of plagiarism that the Pedro is planning to sue Iyamu for plagiarizing his manifesto, the simple agenda. That is another big trouble right now,
Mm.
hanging
Yes.
on top of his head. That
Mm.
they are accusing him of plagiarism. The simple agenda, word for word, he copied the agenda,
Yeah.
the manifesto of
Pedro Obaseki.
Obaseki. So, what advice do you have for them, both the Obaseki, Pedro Obaseki, and
It is even citizens of Edo State who are pressurizing Pedro Obaseki to take him up on it. You understand? I've read a lot of comment from people
Yeah.
about him trying to cascade Iyamu. That it shows you as you are not ready for leadership. Somebody's campaign program for 2016, where he eventually withdrew, you collected it, and you are now saying, did you consult with him? If he has consulted with Pedro or Obaseki,
Once
by
again,
now we would have seen that Pedro Obaseki is also working for him. You know, Pedro Obaseki is one funny thing. Even I criticize his own brother, the governor, when he's a no nonsense man. I listen to him. It's a very straightforward. He talks when he wants to talk. Now he has not come out to say yes, he has discussed with him and he has handed over his program to him. It shows you do not have your own leadership style, but you want to become governor at all costs. These are challenges for him and his team to defend. Are they going to apologize? Because a lot of citizens are telling Obaseki to take him to court and sue him for damages and millions. You know, it's left for him. And I just imagine the kind of stress he's now putting himself or passing through. So that is much. With all that, couple with the statement from the former Vice-Chancellor when he was a student of that university, couple with all these, is definitely going to affect his campaign. For anybody who says, or his election, for anybody who's saying that popular vote does not count, it is on a rare cases popular vote when they do profile ringing with the INEC official. But in this case, I don't think it will happen. APC is not united as a party. The national are
yeah.
saying one thing, the state are saying one thing. So if you are relying on, say, APC will always ring the election, it will not work.
Oh,
With
you are
all
right.
fairness to him, PDP may have won in the last election, but INEC declared the APC. But we are good for Obaseki. He came in and showed his mind of administration, and people now thoroughly accepted him. So most of these things, I look at it as a divine mission that you may not be, but when you are there, you perform better. So if people are calling for Obaseki to come back for the second time and do what he knows what he does best,
Mm.
well, fine. And I think that is where he's getting the upper edge. Personally, one thing I liked about him, I did not vote for Obaseki. I must say it in the first term. I did not vote for him. I voted for Iyamu and then on that PDP. One thing I love about Obaseki, you wake up to see roads being constructed in Benin City without any governor or any personality coming to block the road to commission that road. He never commissioned any road he constructed. And that for me, I just like him. You just wake up, contractors are there doing the work. When it's ready, people ply the road. Nobody go and put tape. Just like what we see in Nigerian politicians, you buy 3 wheelbarrow for a local government, you carry your tape and go and commission it in the name of the Father. So this is an abuse of politics, abuse of power we see in Nigeria. That Obaseki never did. And that is one thing I love him for. I just hope that when he comes back, God willing, he comes back, he should be able to surpass what he did in the first term. That's
First
all.
time. Mm.
Oshomole missed,
Yeah.
will I say, is an elderly person. I'm not used to passing insult on elderly ones. Oshomole, with all due respect to him, messed up the whole system he was trying to build. I can remember Oshomole was not a member of AC or APC. Labour Party was already working for him. It was a vision of this same man, Iyamu, the deputy governor, when I was also a member of that group, Grace Group, because of the godfatherism of
mm,
Chief Tony Aneni on PDP and some
mm.
PDP leaders that grace group was founded, and the slogan was "No man is God." They looked for
Wow.
a credible. Many of them were still in PDP. They were still in PDP. They were looking for credible candidates who can actually deliver. I remember it was three groups that joined to form that AC as a party, now APC at that time. AC at that time, now APC now. The essence and the main agenda was no man is God, no godfatherism should be. Oshomole bite into it. I remember I was part of the team sent to some ward to monitor that election votes should count for the people because we want to stop the idea of godfatherism. Yes, that election was also rigged, if you can remember, that brought Osumbo into government. But Osumbo also ran into a problem with these same godfatherisms. The godfathers wanted him to do some certain things. He refused.
Mm,
And at the end of the day, they were the one who feeded Anderson Shomole with information that knocked him out of election. Sometimes politicians don't learn. You fought against godfatherism. Now you want to be a godfather
Godfather.
as
Exactly.
a system you are destroy you want to destroy. So that it actually politics was godfatherism. Many of us withdrew from politics because when we have worked, we use our team to work. Yours sincerely was the one who brought the PDP campaign team to medical store to campaign opposite Owe's house, who was APP governorship candidate. We have worked. Then the essence of one godfatherism, Godfather will say, no, this position is for his son. His son who does not know how the thing was fought abroad, they will now bring him from that side to become commissioner, supervisory
Mm,
counselor. So the essence, many of us said this is not politics. But when group like
mm,
this, like Grace Group, and we are championing the cause of destroying the work of godfatherism, we joined just to make sure that these godfathers lose their political grip of any party that you belong. You supported,
mm.
you won under that platform. At the end of the day, you want to declare yourself a godfather. With all due respect to Iyamu, allowing even Oshomole to pick him as a candidate was his vision of no man is God has also failed because
Mm.
he was living a house where he wanted to be a godfather. He did not succeed. Obaseki did not give him chance. You were preaching time with. He was a member. Izayamu was a member of PDP when they worked for AC to win the election.
That's
They
what they
were
said.
the
Mm.
people Obasanjo was saying PDP in the day, AC in the night.
Right.
I'm saying anybody should quote me. They were the set of people then. They delivered him because they wanted to have a change. Now the same man you have built. That was one thing I like about the deputy governor Shuaibu, who said you have taught
Mm.
us to destroy this godfatherism. Now you want to be a godfather.
Father.
You want to be a godfather. Izayamu, you fought against godfatherism. The man want to be a godfather. He went again and brought you to dust your for him to be a godfather over you. So what is Obaseki could not do, you are now going to do. Godfathers are always having allocation when subvention comes from Abuja. You dare not deny them it. political appointment, they give you whoever they want to give to you at the detriment of those political organizations that worked for them. So you look at the whole system, we just pray for our Nigerian political system. And I'm also praying that if Obaseki wins, he himself should not turn himself to be a godfather over the next person coming in. Because it has now
Mm.
become so rampant in
Yes.
politics.
Norm. It has become the norm of the Nigerian politics
Or
that
Nigerian politics.
yes, yes, yeah. I hope that will not happen
Hmm.
after Obaseki. Yeah. So that is the thing. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. That
Thank you
was
very
a
much.
very
I'm grateful.
yeah. So thank you guys for watching. There are a lot of people watching right now. I think we have to end this show like this. Then tomorrow we'll come back with any breaking news. Any breaking news. Mr. Daniel, have you heard about Adam Soshomole and the EFCC case?
No,
Is
for
there
now,
any
nothing. In fact, nobody knows the whereabouts of Adanso Shomule. He's still keeping
maybe
out of
maybe he went to
public.
his wife's maybe he went to his wife's country.
That I
Cape
don't know
Verde.
whether he's in
Cape,
Nigeria, but he
I
has
said,
it's completely out of public for now. So we do not know his whereabouts. Maybe when the campaign eventually starts, we may see him climbing the podium for Iyamu, and those people who want to hear what he wants to say this time concerning Iyamu. Thank you.
Iyamu. Oh God, I can't wait for this election to be over. Every day people call me, they send me news. I'm tired. I'm just praying. God, I want this election to be over so that I will continue with another program. I'm tired. Oh my God. Maybe he just wants to calm himself down a little bit and just have a big breath, and relax. And he has he has he has destroyed many things in APC. Honestly, that man,
Hmm.
he has done so many damages to the
Hmm.
APC political party in Nigeria. Honestly, we have to be realistic about this. So maybe it's just contemplating, thinking about his next move to support his
Hmm.
Iyamu. Otherwise, we'll hear from him. Definitely, we'll see
Yeah.
him. The last public appearance was when he accepted the
Yes,
sack,
yes, that is
and he was very polite in his statement. Very, very polite. And that's Shomole, he would have stand in that lane during that campaign period in 2016 when he was supporting Governor Obaseki. I wish he continued and stand in that same lane till today. He would have been recognized as a good godfather in Edo State, not this
that
negative
that
godfather.
is what the philosopher says that power corrupts absolutely. When you grab power, there's power,
Mm,
there's money, except you have the fear of God. More especially in Nigeria, when you are talking of
mm,
billion,
mm,
you just need the spirit of God to be in you, not to go gaga. What went
mhm.
gaga, that was how Oshomole gone gaga. We are just praying for Obaseki that he also will not end up going gaga. uh So, and see a
Yes,
better administration even when he has even when he
mm,
has left, we can now
yes.
see a better person coming in, do and killing eventually this godfatherism in politics.
Mm, definitely, definitely. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Tomorrow we'll come back again,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you all for watching.
Thank
So,
you.
yes, we'll talk later, Mr. Daniel. Thank you
Uh,
so much.
uh,
That was very insightful.